Thank you, Madam President, ladies and gentlemen. Going to start with something very nice and work my way down from there, and it has to be excused afterward, if I might, to get home and take care of my Lisa. I'd like to first say that I see many, many great things happening in our downtown. When you compare today to 1 year ago today, I think we can all be very, very proud of the changes that we see. See buildings, many buildings repaired, many buildings painted, many buildings being renovated in some form or another, many plans in place. And I don't think that any of us could have expected anything better than what we see right now, given the circumstances that we were handed 1 year ago. And I think everyone with involvement in that should be very, very proud of the steps that we've taken. And I want to thank absolutely sincerely all the people who invested significant amounts of money in downtown. All of them hopefully believing in the composite belief that our downtown is coming back and is going to be successful. And I think indeed we're seeing that already. I'm very happy about that. Some time ago I stood at this podium and I accused Mr. Kasiba of interfering with some buildings that I was trying to step in and take in order to abate a liability that exists with our city, particularly the TanFastic and adjacent buildings. I spoke with Mr. Nestic over a cup of coffee, and he explained to me that he had no interest in those buildings and that I was in fact delusional. Since that time, it's a year now since that step was taken. In fact, I promised the city that that issue would be abated before last winter. The buildings are in the same state. Nothing's been done. We've bounced back and forth in court, and the Community Foundation, actually the Salem Arts Foundation, has contacted me again to ask me if I would become involved again. And I assured them that I would become involved, and this time I hired an attorney. My attorney contacted the involved attorneys, spoke with Mr. Zellers, who explained to him, I understand, that you want the buildings for the CIC. Now, you can't imagine my level of frustration at this point. I don't mind someone else fixing the buildings. I don't even mind fixing the buildings myself. I have always believed that we need to form a CIC and that that's the proper venue for taking these faulty buildings and making repairs to them. In fact, if you look at the initial TAC document, the draft TAC document, and the first TAC document, that is specifically what they state, including the Ohio law backing the CIC concept. That is the right way to do this. Privately is not the right way to do this because of a number of reasons, one of which will end up with the wrong people tearing buildings apart in our downtown, which will not abate this problem. I support a CIC formation. I'm willing to help in any way I can. I support any individual with the wherewithal and ability to take these buildings and address them. I don't particularly want to take those particular buildings myself, but I'm willing to at least look hard at them, and my letter, which I gave to the Salem Arts, listed that in specific. In the year that we've let this sit, structural elements of the building have failed, and the building is no longer in the shape that it was in to address a year ago. I'm not sure if the building can be saved or not at this point, responsibly. In any point, I do not understand the interference. I don't have any idea what direction we're going. I wish someone would drag this out into the street so we can look at it and deal with it honorably, because I don't like the way it's being dealt with, and I think it needs addressed. The other issue I want to bring up quickly before I leave as we go on downhill is our zoning department. I had a very small contractor doing a job for me for literally hundreds of dollars, installing 4 windows in one of my downtown buildings. The old windows were single pane glass and sweating and rotting and looked terrible. and I wanted to install 4 buildings. Needless to say, I've been out of town. I haven't done things I should have done, perhaps. I didn't get a zoning permit. Your idea of zoning and my idea of zoning are completely different, by the way. Replacing windows in the rest of the universe does not require a zoning permit. Zoning, by specification, has nothing to do with window replacement or painting. This is the farthest, most ridiculous reach that I can imagine. But in any case, what I see and what I hear from hundreds of people, and if you like this council, I will parade no less than 50 people up here in a line, if that's what I must do to get you to understand me, who will say that they've had similar situations with our zoning department. Now it's time to get a hold of this. We want to support anyone who wishes to come into our city and spend their hard-earned money in making our structures better. We want to dissuade anyone who would come into our city and allow their structures to decompose under our noses. And right now we are doing exactly the opposite of that. And I ask you all, I think we've got an opportunity that will not avail itself to this city in a very long time, having everyone who's sitting here right now here. And I'm telling you, the elections are behind us, and we have time right now, and we have the ability, and we have the strength, and by God, we can make the stand to make these kinds of changes. I expect it of you. I promise you that the people of the city want it desperately, and I hope you'll address it. And I thank you all so much, and for all of your kind words and all of your kind actions to my family. See you later.
Thank you very much.